So welcome everyone to our Wednesday Good of the Whole Mentoring Stewards call. And this Wednesday each month is a public call for people to really come on and feel into this experience of Good of the Whole with the focus of more sacred strategic action and what that feels like, and really having that a taste of this experience and who we are as a community, as a co-mentoring community. And I'll share a little bit more about this. My name is Shelley Darling, and welcome you all, those of you that are new. And Henry's, we always open up with just a heart resonance centering, and then I'll come back on, and I'm helping people to get on our regular number. So you might see me just tune out for a second, but thank you, Henry. It's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Invite you to open to the breath. And just imagine the breath meeting the morning sun. And the alchemy that happens with that meeting as we invite the flow of the breath in and out to meet the dance of this morning, of this new day, as we link our hearts in the midst of all of this, in the midst of the possibility of today, the possibility of the innate goodness within each of us that is seeking fuller expression as we come together. Once again, inviting all the new faces, the new hearts, the new people into our circle this morning in gratitude. Aho.
Beautiful. Welcome everyone to our Wednesday public mentoring stewards call, and invite everyone just to put yourselves on mute. Even though this is a participatory call, we want to learn about you and feel into you as well as you are, as we're all being informed from the field. We want to have this be an open sort of forum so that we can feel into each other and into this community. And what is it that you would be called to come and really feel the sense of living for the good of the whole? And each one of us, I know, as I look at each one of you, everyone is already living for the good of the whole here. And so just to know that we are coming together and we're finding each other, and we're really connecting in the most deep and high ways to support each other in really living for the good of the whole. And just for those of you that are new, our vision with Good of the Whole is a world where every individual feels valued, connected, and whole. And we do this through cultivating this ethos of wholeness, and here nurturing our innate capacity to live for the good of the whole. And we really see each other as cells within this living organism, that we're each here serving the whole as the whole in reciprocity serves us. So this is really this experience of reciprocity and love. And as we become really global, we're calling it here global, conscious global transition specialists, that we believe here that wholeness is really the medicine of our times, and that it's an integral code within each one of us. And in coming back to that, and coming back to that sacred relationship to the whole, then this shift in, what we're calling the old and the new paradigm, actually becomes very succinct, and we become a part of, I love this, word that's sort of new in my vocabulary, is syntony. this sense of resonance within the whole, the full whole structure. And that's really why we come in and are involved in here. So this morning, it's really to understand and ask ourselves, number one, what does good of the whole mean to us? So as we're each sharing and feeling into this field of resonance, to consider this morning that good of the whole is not something that I do, but it's actually something that I am, or that we are together. And together, obviously, we're creating a potentized field. And that it's also a frequency that we're each carrying as a unique one living whole. So in terms of this, this morning's call, and people sharing who you are and why you feel this calling, and you're listening to the depth of this field, it's to understand that, just we invite you to share in a concise way, what are the new forms that are coming through you as the field itself, as an act of creation? Because when we, this is a public call, but as we come together, and we come together as a community each and every week, we're building together and developing the form and structure for us as a whole to be uplifted. How that creation is coming through us. And so on the Mentoring Steward call, even though today is a much more open, sort of relaxed forum, I don't know why the word forum is coming, but it kind of is, but that we, when we come together weekly, we're actually working on very specific ideas, projects, and I'll be sharing more about that, sort of the new process of co-mentoring, that we're inviting people to come and as individuals feel into the field, and then have 20 minutes to really share what is your excitement, what's coming through, and then together we integrate that and listen for how we can support you. So welcome everyone. That was a lot. Take a breath. Taking a moment of always coming back to that pause and feeling that our taproot goes deeper into the mother, and we're receiving her. Here we're talking about being mutually nourished. So that's what we're bringing forth. So I think I'll just invite a couple of people that have been on this call and who are part of the community, so that they can kind of share into the field what this is for them. And then let's just open it up, really just popping it for everybody. And then I'll come back in later on. So if you're remembering, just keeping it to like 2 to 3 minutes, so that everybody today has a chance to share what's moving through them. And I'm whole and complete right now. Thank you. And nourished. We can't hear you, Lindy. Maybe you got to try the phone. Not sure why that's happening. Okay, come back in. So someone else, until Linda has to come in on her phone, can jump in. What does good of the whole mean for you, and how is it showing up in your life? And just lastly, those people that are on the phone, if you've come in late, you're on mute, so you have to unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. This is John. I'm in Boulder, Colorado. I, by some miracle, tapped into this organism about a year ago, actually now, through Julie Kroll. And I was looking for some way to experience my life, not individually, but with a group that was like-minded. Well, what I found was an incredible group that is like-hearted. within what we call the resonant field, which is the love that flows through each of us equally and infinitely, and a lot of my personal prejudices and belief structures began to disintegrate. And I simply was able to sit and rest in this resonant field and be supported by the other people that you see on this screen, many of them. And therefore, things started happening in my life. The information that I was receiving was clear and succinct and loving. And it wasn't about personal development as much as it was, how can I best serve for the good of the whole on this planet, which I'd been looking for a long time. And from that space, new things keep bubbling up on ways that we can heal and bring back into unity how we've been split as a country, as a world, as a planet. And it's the best thing that I've experienced for helping that process happen. So that's just my own little testimonial. I feel like it's a very opportunity to advance into what Shelley just said is the new paradigm, which is not of separatism, but of union. And all we have to do is look around the world to see how separate and divisive things have become. Our mission here is to receive the exact information from the resonant field that is all loving and all within unity. And I think I'll stop there. I appreciate everyone being here this morning, and I'm complete.
Good morning, all. Charlie Riverman Bergeron here. Many of you have seen me pop in and pop out of this beautiful resonant field. I honor and love each and every one of you that show up regularly and carry the main focus of this group and share it with all of us, whether we show up on the field or not. A good of the whole has been a part of an endearment of mine to watch, follow, and see everybody grow and assist me in remembering that I'm not alone. And so as we tap into this new paradigm at a much faster, more deeper momentum, it's important to gather. And there was a conversation that I spoke about last night about groups. And I just want to throw this into the field that many groups are small groups. And I've been saying for a long time, it's the small groups that don't get infiltrated and don't get destroyed. But I'm seeing a time now, a shift in the timelines that are actually calling people in smaller groups to gather as a whole, but not in the form of the old paradigm. It's something new. It's something undefinable, really, at this moment. We are the ones who are co-creating this from a heart level. And it's about the heart remaining open. And so here I am, I'm complete, I'm whole, I'm loving, I am you, you are me. We are unity. Bless you all, love you all. Thank you.
Oh, I have to follow that thread, Charlie. This is Cassandra. I'm very clear in this lifetime that I'm in service. I have been since, well, even childhood, as I reflect back. Today may not be the day to share who I am and where I come from. Today is to share, for me anyway, is to share a hope and a dream that we will go so deep together that co-creation will happen spontaneously, that we will be able to support one another according to our alliances and soul purposes and any other definitive way that you want to express that for yourself. I am called to action. This lifetime is more about action than at any other time that I have remembered. So I want to be here, and I want to share from that place that is like ecstatic devotion. It is so integral a part of me that I share with others. And this seems to be a good place to do that. So I look forward to coming back. If administration can get me on the email list. I've been waiting for 2 or 3 months now, so just gonna love and throw that out. So I'm standing by to be in the field with everyone from now on.
I guess I'll go next. This is Henry in Colorado. I see this group as an invitation to wholeness, an invitation to being more fully who we each are, and creating the space that embraces that holds that. And we are starting to begin to articulate more what is happening, like we're doing this morning, and just opening, in some ways coming together in a group in what some say a we space or field space, that initially I wondered or questioned whether I would lose myself, my own individuality in certain ways by coming together, but rather coming together, for me, I am deepening more into my voice and deepening into who I am and my ability to share from that place, or what I came here to be, and whatever deepens and grounds in action, as Cassandra said, because we're here in bodies in order to do action. And it may just be in our loving presence, right? And in so many other ways, how we care for the earth. Some of us, I'm looking at one person who is very connected with the earth, with the gardens, with growing things. So anyway, so that's my my contribution for today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Grey Wolf Petruzzi. And I cannot stay for the whole meeting, for which I apologize, but I had other things scheduled before Shelley brought this to our awareness. I'm listening, and I'm hearing you, and I'm feeling your energy, and I thank you all for that. I'm in a lot of different groups. I also see action as an important component of this part of our lifetime and this part of the shift. But my motto is action, prayer, education, and ceremony. And I see all of those as critical right now. And the emphasis shifts, obviously, as we work our way through this. I'm trained by a lot of indigenous people. I've been fortunate enough to have traveled around the world and lived with and learned from a lot of different cultures. So I've been told that my job in this time would kind of be a bridge. And so I'm looking for connections, much like Charlie talked about. I think we agree on that. Connections are critical right now, but without the old model, the old paradigm of one in control and the rest below it, which we're watching play out in our political systems and doesn't play very well anymore. So I'm looking as being part of a lot of different water efforts to flow like the waters, to all come together and flow as one, to unite so that we get stronger and stronger. And each time then that there's a blockage or a hurdle in front of us, we can just flow around it. So working on the spiritual end, which a lot of these, especially the young people who I've worked with a lot now in the last year, as the young people are rising up and saying they don't accept what's going on and making demands, many of them do not yet understand the spiritual end. And that's understandable. They've had to act. And so they're in action. So I've been trying to bring that part of it, as asked, to some of the young folks. So as I get into these different groups and I hear your words, that's what I hope will resonate in me when I speak with them. So I'm here. I'm curious to see how Loving Waters and I do know Good of the Wholesome. I went to one of the retreats we did. Boy, what's that? 3 years ago now, I guess. I don't know. Time's going so fast. So I know there's connections. There's connections between all the groups right now. And I'm just waiting to hear what it is. And thank you for sharing all your words and your spirits. I'm done. I'm complete.
Elizabeth. I'm very happy to be here and thank you for the invitation, Shell. And I'm here really as a spokesman for the water. I have been completely absorbed. This bubble has been absorbed into the greater water. And my message is getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's simply that if seekers of us transformation, what did you call them, Shelley? You had a term, the transformational mentors or whatever it is. Those light bearers that see what needs to be brought in right now for the good of the whole, for all life. We have to come, we're at the point in our evolution and in our species where we have to come down to the very most basic relationship and reboot it. We need a total reboot of the heart. And what is our heart but that magnificent muscle that moves our water through our body, and all of our blood is red. And so the good of the whole is a very natural evolution for me, in that I'm well connected with Shelley and Julie and have worked on things like this before. And so I'm really familiar with what it is, but my journey's taken me really fully to the water, and it keeps pulling me and it keeps giving me assignments, and water communicates to me in every cell of my body, because we're here because we feel connected. It's not that we're looking for connection, it's that we are the connection. And in our own bodies, we are connecting with that water. And if every light bearer on the planet could focus on water as being the message for 1 year, everyone that has any kind of inkling just really meditates on the water for a year, we will come back into balance. We just have to listen to what the water's already telling us. We don't need to look for connections because we already are completely connected through the water to everything. And one of the messages that has come to me is, and this is such a simple message that every single demographic and group and ideology and belief system can get behind, is that the chemical composition of H2O, water, is at the very heart of humanity's delusion of separation. Because truly, water is H3O2. Because you cannot have H2O. You can't have one molecule of water. If you have one molecule of water, poof, it's hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen bond needs to be connected. And when we are seeing and living water as 99% of our being is water, by the number of molecules in our body, we're water. So if we can just come back and reboot our relationship with our very most core truth, which is that we are water, everything else will take care of itself, because water heals all. Water is all. All life is water. So I'm looking for a place where I can anchor this core message for humanity with a group of people that are ready to really conceive the solutions and live them, and bring that full system reboot of love, quantum love, into everything we are and everything we do. Poof, that magic moment can be reached. And we're so close. We're so close. And I personally want to know how you have structured Good of the Whole, to see how this core message can keep growing out into the world, and because it's as core as we can possibly get. And if we work at this core cellular level, molecular electromagnetic level of truth, love, light, beauty, compassion, goodness, kindness, fun, play, we'll be living in a different world, and we're also ready for it. And so let's give this gift. Our generation is the generation that has to give this gift to the youth. We are the bridge. Jim said that we are the bridge generation, and we have to do it while we still have the capacity to do it. So that's what I live for, and I'm here to just really now listen to what else is here in this circle of trust and love. I'm complete and whole, and wish to dance a wholesome dance with each one of you.
Hi, this is Sharon, and I'll pick up that dance. for a moment here in the woods. So I'm feeling the connections. I'm feeling the bridging, feeling the water, listening to the birds, even through the headphones here. And as I came out here, there were 6 deer in the distance and another 6 came by a minute ago. So the animals are with us. And I really am appreciating the call to action today, and action and connection in spirit. So I'm with you. We have a problem. My husband and I have a project called Marine Defenders that has to do with stopping pollution in the ocean, and has been going for about 8 years. So there's a connection we can make later with some emails. And I think that's partly how we do it. When we hear something that on this call, we can reach out to each other. That's what I've been learning, and about how this organization or this global heart works for connecting. Just take some action and connect with each other. And so Shelley or others, you can certainly pick up on that and add to it. And I'm complete and I'm with you. And this is brand new for me to bring my phone and be on this call in the woods. So thank you, Kate, for inspiring me on that. And here I am. I'm complete.
This is Lloyd, and I'm in Minneapolis, and this is just the second time that I've connected on this call. And what drew me in was the invitation to serve the good of the whole. And there's such power in the image that comes from me, the idea, the reality of serving the good of the whole. And it's in many ways becoming a fairly foreign concept in our culture. And community is definitely countercultural. And usually I'll just kind of sit and watch for a little longer than I have, but I was really drawn in today. Shelley talking about connection and in forming community, just sharing our personal stories is one of the most powerful ways that I've experienced for making connections, and just recognizing our humanness, recognizing our common experiences and all these threads that ties together. And let's see, 23 years ago, actually just about this time of year, I was introduced to Peruvian shamanism, which for me was just a real natural coming home. And the image I've had ever since that is that our task is to reweave the world back together again. And so I'm really delighting in hearing the threads that members of this call are putting out there. And these are the threads that will weave the world back together again. And a year ago, again, this time, I left that shamanic community because it hadn't felt right for a year or more. And I finally decided it was time to say goodbye. And for the last, well, let's see, I'll back up and say one thing, which is probably about 40 years ago, at least, I recognized that our problems are spiritual problems. And for me, spiritual is really all about connection. And that in the public sphere, we talk about economic problems, political problems, medical problems, and so on. But at the heart, I see all of our problems as being spiritual problems. And for me, my primary spiritual expression for the last 2.5 years now has been, 2.5 years ago, I was fortunate to meet an Ojibwe elder who's trained as a water protector. And she's been conducting river walks for I think this is her 13th or 14th year. And after a few years of doing river walks, she got to think, well, why should we just do this on one river walk in the summer? And so she started on Sunday mornings. There's a beautiful park on the Mississippi River that's down in the gulch, as it were, the Mississippi. So when you're down there, you can see some power lines, but there you see almost no evidence that you're in the heart of a major metropolitan area. And so every Sunday at 9 o'clock, she invites people to gather at Hidden Falls Park, and we do ceremony to pray for the water, to protect the water, to honor the water and Mother Earth. And for about the first 6 months there, when Sharon Day is the elder's name, and when she wasn't going to be there, she would be sure to call someone to be certain that there would be somebody there to conduct ceremony that morning. Well, since that first 6 months, Sharon doesn't worry about it. She knows if she's not going to be there, there are going to be people there. And it typically varies from 4 or 6 to 20 some people there. Last Sunday, there were 16 of us there. And it is just such a loving circle that we create there. And I know that each of us who goes there feels it's just an incredible blessing to be able to gather with like-hearted people and pray for the water, pray for Mother Earth, pray for the connections, pray for those who are in need. And such a privilege to be with these beautiful group of people, and a privilege to be on this incredible river and to experience the river through all the changes of the seasons of the year, to be in the same spot on the river each Sunday throughout the year. And Sharon says, in her tradition, you should do it at sunrise, but she figures that probably a hard sell to get people at the Mississippi on sunrise, especially in winter time. So we meet at 9 o'clock, and it's something I look forward to every Sunday. And if I'm in town, I'm on the Mississippi on Sunday mornings. And I'm really glad to take in the threads that different people have cast this morning, and I'm thankful to be here and thankful for the invitation. I'm complete.
So I'm just going to ask Elizabeth, if you could just hold on a minute. This call is only an hour, and we want to just open it up so that we hear most everybody. And at the same time, I just want to say that this is what this Mentoring Steward call is all about, and we do go deeper and we do listen more specifically, but just to be conscious that there's quite a few more people, and just that we can keep it to 1 to 2 minutes, and that would be appreciative. And believe me, I'll share more, as Elizabeth's question was a very important one, and towards the end. So just continue it. And those of you that have spoken, we're just going to ask you to hold the banks of the river, because the passion, you can feel the heart, you can feel it. All this week it's been about fire and water, and just feel your passion, and just let's keep it so that everyone can have a bit of a share here, as this is a public call. And thank you so much for your words and your wisdom and your love. We'll just continue this. And for those that have just came on late, you have to unmute yourself to speak, but we'd love to hear from you. Are you trying to talk, Linda? Here, let me unmute. Hold on. Go ahead. No, that's not you. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Linda. No, I don't know where your phone is. Linda, maybe you should type in your, we can't hear you. Okay, and I don't even see your phone on the screen, so I don't know. Are you 217?
219.
Oh, that's it. We got you. It's really echoey though. Oh, I got it. Try now.
Okay. Are we good? We
She's
have an
getting
echo
feedback
everywhere.
from herself. She's getting feedback from herself.
Yeah, Linda, it's not working. So we're going to keep going. Okay, sweetie?
She's getting feedback
Yeah.
from herself. She has to turn off one of her devices.
I did just shut it off. Linda, shut off your computer. Mute yourself, and we can try one more time. But otherwise, we just want to keep going.
Okay, I'm sorry to take up so much of this time.
No, that's good.
Are we good? We're good. All right, thank you. In respecting that we're all here in this beautiful tapestry with all of our threads weaving together, I am just here holding space. This is Linda. I'm in Indiana, and for I don't know how many years I've been holding this sacred space for good of the whole, because it is this whole world view that keeps me connected to a greater picture, a spiritual understanding of my life, and that helps my individual self get through the day. And so I'm reaching out to everyone here in gratitude and in love. I have so much to share, but I'm being mindful of time. I'm going to put 2 words out there so that you can be watching something new that's developing through good of the whole, and we'll be moving into action in 2020, and that is Pachamama Pajamas. And it is around the children. It's about children. It's about nurturing them. It's about being the bridge and having them have some template to hold on to where they feel valued, connected, and whole. And so it's a great big snuggle idea, and I'm inviting everyone to just let those words move around in your head, and what does that mean to you, for the good of everyone. We need water, as Elizabeth said. We need the fire to keep our passion going, and we all need to sleep. Just like food, we need these things in human form. So this is one way to have our sleep be like a beautiful dream catcher, so we can help all of ourselves, young and old alike, to dream our new world, to dream our dream into reality. So that's all I have to say. I'm sorry about all of the technological confusion here, but I am here with you, and my heart is embracing all of you with the biggest mama love. So there it is. Loving you all. Thank you for this beautiful tapestry. I'm whole and complete for this moment.
Good morning, everyone. This is Karen in Costa Rica. What a beautiful call. It may be a little loud, so I've hesitated to come on too much. Speaking of water, we're having very heavy rain here. It's let up just a little bit, so it's not quite as loud. But it does get loud rain on metal roofs and wind. The way that I'm here, my assignment is helping create a new paradigm of being. I'm also told I'm a bridge. I'm a steward of the vision, nexus, catalyst, gatherer, and keeper of the blueprint. And how that's been manifesting, part of how we are working toward that end is by created a foundation called the Crystal Light Foundation, and it's a gathering point of people and projects here to help create a new world. So I loved hearing what everyone had to say, connections that could be made through this wonderful group, and all the beautiful faces that I see in the tapestry here. And I look forward to connecting with more of you. Thank you.
Greetings all, this is Kate in South Dakota, and I'll just briefly say it's so wonderful to hear all your wisdom and see everyone. And as we embody this water, the river becomes so strong. And I just want to thank you all for sharing your sacred time. And, I'm in the field.
Aloha, everyone. This is Glenn checking in from Kauai, where I live. And we have Mount Waialeale, which is one of the wettest places in the world. Over 450 inches a year comes to our island. And of course, we're surrounded by water as well. And my work here is building community for good of the whole, and actually creating a physical housing space and development for that. And work I've got to start the draft of the booklet. What if you think for yourself, if you were to receive a little booklet about what it would mean to live in a community that lives for the good of the whole, what would that booklet say? That's a question. So I'm working on that question. It's just emerged yesterday, and it's like, okay, what's the documents that we give people? What's the information we give people who might consider living in a, in a apartment complex that's built to exist for the good of the whole and support people in their lives and finding their potential and finding their journey and exploring with each other what we're all about. So if, everyone's welcome to make a contribution. So I invite you, just let me know. Send something in, glenn@glenhead.com. How do we live for the good of the whole and really express that on the ground in, in action terms? So I'm complete.
So I'm just going to pop in here for a moment as we're just wanted to check. So I'm seeing Oriana. I don't know if you want to jump in, and I think everyone has shared at this point, which is perfect timing. Oriana, just jump in. I'll give you a minute. We'll take a breath, see if she wants to jump in. And for those of you who are on the phone, Glenn is wearing his Love Lives Here shirt. Living for the good of the whole, which is really all that we are doing. So all that we are being. All right. Woo! Okay. So
I'm here.
okay, great.
Real quickly, I was in sort of listen-only mode, but I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm feeling the resonance and the coherence, and just really have a sense of it all coming together. That is what is drawing us forth, and just being with it right now. So that's it. So thank you.
Thank you, Oriana. So let's just take a moment and just feel that quality of vibration There have been so many incredible words shared here, and this frequency of what we tend to express in Good of the Whole is the home frequency. We're all tapping into that frequency of love that is guiding and always moving us into our highest potential. And it's this really emerging field is the unique quality of this expression that we're calling Good of the Whole. We've talked about it as an organism. You know, we can't talk about it only as an organism because it is a 501c3 nonprofit, so it is an organization without question. And each one of you and each one of your voices today are the, you know, par excellence, par essence of the quality of this field. And so really, and when we're saying coming together in this community, we're talking about first feeling that resonance in communion with this voice of the whole. What is it? What is it calling forth as us, as a community, as a planet, as a living whole? And that it knows exactly where it's going if we are able to learn how to track it in the many different ways that we do. And I feel like, you know, each person today has really expressed this fire in their heart, these new forms that are coming forward through you and as you, as acts of creation. And ultimately, Good of the Whole is, you know, we've talked about it in so many different ways. You know, it's just there is a structure, and we will, you know, if you're wanting to play with us, Glenn and Linda and a few others are part of this advisory council. You can come in any way, shape, or form that you want. And we're all informed, we're being informed by the field. We're being mentored by the field itself. And then we're coming in and co-mentoring each other. So, you know, we've used for so long this term co-creation, and that's totally, absolutely true and correct. But there's this other quality of co-mentoring that I think Glenn mentioned, where we come in, or someone mentioned, I can't even remember anymore who, where we come in this equality, this voice of equality, each of our voices having exactly this presence of the fulfillment of love itself through the field, as you, through you. And so ultimately this call is really whatever, leaders, emerging leaders, passionate mentors, whatever you want to call yourself, coming in together to build this structure together. And Good of the Whole as an organism is just this, I will just call it an entity for the moment, just a portal, an entity, a mothership that is a docking station where you can come in, and the main focus here is to be mutually nourished and to listen for how we can do it. And for some of you, it might be, whoa, I want to be part of the advisory council that's really involved in the actual physical structuring of this template of education, of spirituality, of sacred actioning. Or maybe for another person, like, wow, I feel like I want to be part of this wisdom council. Or as Elizabeth was expressing, maybe it's an individual autonomous expression that you feel that you're listening for the people that are really focused on the water or on the earth, or, you know, so there's all different ways to come and play. Whoops, sorry. So there's all different ways to come and play here. But this Wednesday call is where this begins to happen, where the field is perturbating itself through you and as you. And so ultimately, the way right now it's an hour. My feeling is it's going to have to go to an hour and a half, where we're inviting you as an individual or as an individual voice of an organization to send me an email, Shelley at Good of the Whole, and say, hey, I'd like to bring my voice forward, what we're doing for how we're living for the good of the whole, with just a title of something you'd like to bring forth. It may be, and we're setting up, at least at this point, a 20-minute opportunity for others to hear your personal expression. And for us, finally, in that last 20 minutes of the time together, for us to share and move and express and see how we can support you. And, we'll talk later, in the coming weeks, or we've already mentioned this right now, this like three-legged stool of ways to come in and be involved and braid yourself into this beautiful. Thank you, Lloyd, for this weaving of this tapestry of our love and our sacred intentioning. So if you're interested in becoming, showing up on the calls other than just the public call, because this is just an overall view and you've gotten a taste, but if you want to come in really and be involved in this building of the field, we invite you to come on Wednesdays. You can go to Good of the Whole. We do ask for a donation to support the structure that we're building together. If there's a financial issue, or if you feel you're a nonprofit or whatever it is, you can just get a hold of me, Shelley at Good of the Whole, or give my phone number, and we can talk and see how we can support this expression that you feel so passionate about. So with that, I really want to thank you so much. Every time we come together, as everyone has expressed, Linda and Glenn kind of gave you examples of ways in which Good of the Whole is, bringing their voice forward through Pachamama Pajamas and the Ohana Legacy Foundation. These are all things that are going to come out and be sponsored and be held up through Good of the Whole. But you might just have something that you want to stay autonomous and you just want to partner with Good of the Whole. So there's lots of different ways to do this. Please stay in touch. You can respond, again, Shelley at Good of the Whole, or support at Good of the Whole. But if it's directly for this call, send it to me, and let's just take a breath together in gratitude and peace and love for the earth and all relations. Feel into the water, feel into the elementals, the light-bearing ancestors that are supporting us, our guides, our guidance, and the very core voice of wholeness, that this is the way through. And you can just always go on to Good of the Whole and just sign in. We have a Monday resonance call, which we deepen into the field, as well as this one. And you will all be a part of that developing expression, whatever it is that you feel you can see yourself as part of this large living field of, as Elizabeth was sharing, we are all water. It's one water that we're all part of, that we're all swimming in. So thank you everyone for showing up. Love, love, love. And go to Good of the Whole Facebook page. We'll post this, and you can share this if you want, and join us. Love you all. Thank you for so much living for the good of the whole. Thank you. Hui ho. See you again.
Aloha.